My friend is mad because a random guy didn't serve her. Now says it's my fault she's single and it's my duty to take care of her. Original post. A few days ago, I went to a dinner party with my friend. It was a Chinese restaurant with big round tables. We sat around a table with about 10 people. She found one guy there attractive. He was a friend of a friend, so they didn't know each other, and she wanted his attention. The guy was chatting with his friend. My friend walked, waved, and stopped their conversation, asking him to get some extra tableware for her. The guy called a waitress and said, "Please get some tableware for that lady." Then he told my friend, "I ordered the waitress to bring it for you." After that, he continued chatting with his friend. Then my friend started her endless complaints. She said the guy was ridiculously impolite. I asked her why. She said the guy was too rude for not serving her himself. He did not go to get the tableware for her, but instead stayed seated and ordered the waitress. She was also angry that the guy kept chatting with his friend, as if she wasn't important. My friend always thinks she's very beautiful, but clearly not every man finds her attractive. Now for the top comments before reading the updates. Did this guy even work there? No, the guy was also attending this party with his friend. My friend walked, waved, and stopped their conversation. This approach already sounds entitled. If someone were to do this to me, I would have done the same thing. Even queens have more manners and etiquette than this, so your friend is not an exception. Also, she assumed he was single and interested in women. Also, since this would be something you'd normally ask someone who actually worked at the restaurant to get. If she'd asked me this, I would have thought she thought I was the waitstaff. To me, I ordered the waitress to bring it. Makes me pretty sure he also thought she probably thought he was the waitstaff. By telling her the waitress would bring it, it's saying, "Hey, I don't work here. Ask the right people for that stuff and stop bothering me." The easiest way for a hot person to become ugly is acting like an entitled a-hole. Some people are into that and are drawn to it, but healthy people will avoid it. She made the mistake of thinking anyone owes her anything, and her personality was repellent. Now for the first update. A few days ago, I went to a dinner party with my friend, and she was angry because a guest did not serve her. Here is a little update. After the party, she wasn't just complaining about the guy. She was also unhappy that no one asked her out. No one asked for her number, and basically no guy approached her after the party. This morning, she messaged me some details about a dating event and asked me to join her next week. I refused because I'm not interested in a dating event, and I already have plans with my boyfriend that day. She was angry and blamed me for being so selfish and only enjoying time with my boyfriend and letting her stay single. I was too shocked to hear this. Does she think she's entitled to my time and weekends? I told her I was not joining the event. I also told her that if she really wanted a guy, she should just use dating apps or join events alone instead of bothering me. Then she said, "I want a guy, but I don't want to go to the event alone, as if I'm the only single woman. You have to join me, helping me get a boyfriend, otherwise I'm not going, and it will be your fault for letting me stay single." I didn't reply. I've known her for 2 to 3 years, but I think the longer she stays single, the more entitled she acts, and I suspect I may no longer want to be her friend if she continues this way. There's no wonder no guy wants her. She reeks of desperation and craziness. How is she going to be the only single woman at a dating event? It's not exactly somewhere women with partners frequently go. She needs to start liking herself and being comfortable with her own company, or the only men she will get are a-holes. I think she means the only single woman in her friend group, not the only single woman at the dating event. I don't know, because she said she doesn't want to go to the event as if she is the only single woman and says OP has to help her find a boyfriend there. She thinks by attending the dating event, it's to admit that she is single and can't find a man, and she thinks it hurts her ego. So she wants someone to accompany her to boost her confidence. She wants you, a woman in a committed relationship, to accompany her to an event where the sole purpose is to find a date. That's such a wildly inappropriate request. I don't even know where to begin unpacking it. My wife had a friend like this about 15 years ago. When she had a fella, she loved me, and he and I were supposed to be best friends. When she was single, I sucked. I didn't give my wife enough. My wife deserved better, etc. Surprise, surprise, one day my wife just stopped hanging out. Last update. This is another update about my friend. Last time she tried to force me to join a dating event with her, and I refused. She blamed me for hurting her feelings. For the next 2 days, she kept sending me crying and angry emojis. I didn't feel good about how she tried to force me to go to a dating event, so I ignored her. Today, she finally switched topics and said she was lonely and hoped my boyfriend and I could go to a barbecue with her. I thought maybe she had learned her lesson and wouldn't try to force me anymore, and she sounded vulnerable this time, so I asked my boyfriend's opinion. My boyfriend agreed to go together, though he does not like her much, so I told my friend to plan the details. Later, she told me her plan. There was a huge to-buy list. She required my boyfriend and me to buy everything, and the list contained very specific food items such as seafood and organ meats that can't be easily bought in supermarkets. I told her the arrangement was very inconvenient for us and that we don't eat the food she listed. She argued, "You two have the whole morning to prepare the food. You know I wake up late. Just get everything and come to my door at 2 p.m. to pick me up." My boyfriend refused to pick her up and suggested she buy her own food. She was angry and said we were not caring for her. My boyfriend argued that it was not our responsibility. She said, "I am single, so of course it's you two's duty to take care of me." I told her, "We are not going to the barbecue. Please enjoy your time," and ended the conversation. I don't think she is a friend anymore. Why are you still talking to this person and how old is she? Feels like she is a teenager. No, she is almost 40. For Pete's sake, you should have blocked her last week. Why is OP even entertaining this person? She sounds ludicrous. Block and move on with your life. This person is not rational. Yeah, I tried to distance myself from her, but when she sounds fragile, such as saying, "I am lonely," or "You are my only friend," I feel guilty about leaving her alone. But now I see why other friends left her. Tell her she's lonely because she drives everyone away by demanding they serve her and meet her needs like an entitled queen. That she's a grown adult, and it's not anyone else's job to take care of her, and she needs to be a friend to others to have them want to be friends with her, including accepting that she doesn't get to force people to do what they don't want to do. Then let her know this friendship doesn't work for you anymore and block her. Or just block her. Next story. Is it wrong to kick my friend out of my home because she requires and will be getting a service dog? Important legal information here, and I'll keep this brief. I co-own a 2-bedroom house with my sibling, who does not live in the property but I do. We agreed that I could rent out the second bedroom. I chose to rent to a friend well below market value, nearly half price since I know her. I'm from the UK, and this is important because legally my friend is not my tenant. She is what the law considers a lodger, because I live in the property, which makes me a live-in landlord, and certain laws do not apply to live-in landlords that would otherwise apply to regular landlords. One of these laws is that I don't need to accept an assistance dog in my home because we share intimate living quarters such as the living room, kitchen, bathroom, etc. I am not an animal person, and my friend, and pretty much everyone who knows me, knows this. I have absolutely nothing against service animals and respect them greatly. I've always known about my friend's medical condition and never had an issue with it. She admitted that the need for a service dog was unexpected as her condition had worsened and neither of us saw this coming. My issue isn't a service dog itself because I know they are brilliantly trained. My issue is a service dog off duty, which it inevitably would be in my home and would behave more or less like a normal pet. Yes, service animals have moments when they are off-duty and get to relax and behave like normal dogs. What I don't want is a dog off-duty in my home, doing normal dog things like shedding, licking my couch, or attempting to interact with me. I want control over my own space, and I don't like chaos. So I have chosen to end our lodger agreement with appropriate notice. My friend is understandably upset, but this is the only option that keeps my home sane and does not force me to live with an animal I do not want. My sibling is neutral and has left the choice up to me. I'm just going to add, for anyone who's concerned, that my friend isn't going to be homeless. She will move in with her parents, which is less than ideal, but she will not be on the streets. And yes, I do accept the consequences that this could end our friendship. It wasn't an easy choice, and I still feel awful. So, am I in the wrong here? Edit. Since I've seen some comments asking, appropriate notice in my case means that, legally, I must provide 28 days, and I have given double that, so she isn't moving out during Christmas. Also, people seem to be confused about the legalities and assume this is illegal, and it's not. Lodger rights and tenant rights are different in the UK. This isn't a legal issue, it's simply a moral one, and I appreciate both sides of the argument. Doing normal things like shedding. This made me chuckle, like they start and stop shedding if they're on or off duty limo. But no, I wouldn't say you're wrong. I feel for your friend that she has a reason to need a service dog, but that doesn't mean you have to live with one. Okay, yeah, you got me there, lol. That actually strengthens my reasons, since there would never be an off switch for pet dander. I'd want professional cleaning regularly, which I know my friend can't afford. You'd let your friend stay if they could foot a professional cleaning bill. There is an option. Unfortunately, the friend in question is not in the financial position to accommodate it. Unfortunate, but it happens. No, I say this as a person who loves dogs and wishes I could bring mine with me pretty much everywhere. It's your house. You should feel comfortable in your own home. Surely if this friend had a dog prior to moving in with you, you would have said no from the get-go. What if you have a serious allergy? You deserve to feel comfortable and safe in your home. I wanted to clarify a few points. 1. Service dogs don't have an off-duty schedule. Their owners need them 24/7. They don't understand the concept of 5 p.m. relaxation time. 2. All qualified service dogs are highly trained, and obedience is their top priority. They come from well-behaved breeds. By the time they graduate as service dogs, they've long outgrown the puppy stage. They won't suddenly become overly energetic after work. It's perfectly fine to not want a dog at all. However, it seems you believe an off-duty service dog would become a drunk sailor, which is incorrect. Maybe, but I want 0 interactions, and I don't want any pet dander. My boundaries are extremely rigid, and honestly, I don't think it's fair to any dog to live in a house where it's treated like it's not accepted. Last story. Am I wrong for telling my boyfriend not to treat me like his secretary? This morning, as my boyfriend was getting ready to leave for work, he asked me a succession of questions. Do you have a USB-C cable I can borrow? What am I cooking tonight? Do we have beef? Is it going to rain today? He was in a rush and I was having breakfast at the table, from where I can reach the under-counter fridge. After the "do we have beef" question, I just shrugged like I didn't know and opened the fridge so he could see inside. He went, "Okay, cool," from across the table and then asked me about the weather. I said, "I don't know, I'm not your Siri." He went, "I'm just asking you a question." And I went, "You've asked me lots of questions." And then something like, "People ask their mom or their secretary things like this." He got annoyed and said I was being weird, then left saying, "You're just angry because I asked you to turn off the light in the bedroom." We disagree over what counts as wasteful use of electricity. I don't think having one small lamp in the other room lit so I can see where I'm going when I walk in there in 20 minutes is wasteful. He does. This was all sort of joking, but I could tell he was annoyed. For context, we've been together over 6 years, we moved in together 9 months ago, and we've spoken many times before about gender roles, division of labor, and partner expectations, including in couples therapy. I know he has good intentions, and that he was in a rush. I could have answered his questions, and told him later to please check these things for himself and not leave the mental load up to me. On the other hand, these are the moments where I feel it's most productive to call out the dynamics I want to avoid. Am I wrong for being snarky and telling him in the moment? Nah, the issue isn't that he is asking you questions. It's that by asking you questions, he is making you responsible for the answers. All the things he asked, he could find out or take ownership of himself. For what it's worth, my partner used to do this to me, and we've had a few conversations about how it makes me feel responsible for everything, and yes, carrying the mental load. It's still a work in progress, but I remind him he is a smart guy and can figure it out. Thanks for weighing in. I suppose it's a similar work-in-progress situation for us, but I got a bit impatient with it this morning. From the comments, it would seem that doesn't happen to anyone else. Yes, this is annoying. My husband used to do the same, including how do I cook the chicken, and what temp do I need to wash this shirt at, And my answer was always, I don't know, you're holding it. What does the label say? Calling it out is one thing, but it's going to cause friction. You need to make it harder to ask you the questions than to look it up himself. If he's genuinely in a rush, reminding him to bring a rain jacket is helpful, but it is dead lazy to assume another person will do your logistics planning for you. Women tend to be very good at organizing and planning, and while we all like to be helpful to loved ones, it can get to be too much when it's just expected. All the women who have experienced this know you're not wrong. He's not making small talk. He's asking you questions he could easily answer himself and shifting the mental load to you. This issue was magnified for my husband and me after our first child. I would already have my own set of 100 questions running through my brain. Did my son eat enough? Does he have clean bottles? When will he nap today? Do I need to change his diaper soon? Where did I put XYZ, etc.? If my husband said something like, do I need a jacket? Is it cold outside? It was enough to make me flip. We talked about it, and he stopped asking me questions he could easily find the answer to. You are smart to call this out now. Maybe your tone was poor, but overall not wrong. Thanks for sharing. I often think about how having kids would affect our relationship dynamic. I'm glad you could talk it out and your husband was receptive to it. Yep, this is the dynamic I have with my partner. 17 years. I've had enough of being the project manager for both our lives. I'm actually ending things with him for this reason. He's a wonderful person but a mediocre partner, and I'm done.